This week, we'll take a look in the defensive backfield that includes the cornerbacks and the safeties as new defensive coordinator Cameron Sherrod takes over this group. We also caught up with Darius Morrow and Charles Watson, two of the seniors in the defensive backfield, about what they expect out of the group this year.
It's a great pleasure to play with these guys, a group of veterans, and I feel really good about this season, real confident on my group of guys.
And that veteran group experience will be vital to the secondary success. Tyrell Pearson, who was named to the preseason All-Sunbelt team, will be the catalyst for this group.
All the time. That's why me and Tyrell, we work out all the time together, away from practice. Even we're roommates, so even where we stay, we make calls to each other. We'll say, okay, what are we supposed to do on this play? If the ball is on this hash, where are you supposed to be? Even on the field, we communicate. If you watch some of the game film, you'll see me and Pearson, waving at each other and telling us, hey, make sure you watch out for this, or giving each other a signal for that. So, I mean, it's always, it's a big time communication between me and him, because we understand that what we have to do at the corner position, and we just want to make bring the best out of both of us. So we just always stay on each other.
Tyrell's a really good player. I've only been around him since January, basically, but really good leader, does a good job, works hard. The game's important to him. He's really smart. He's picked up on a lot of the new schemes and things like that we've done really, really well. I know he's a good player. I think he had 4 interceptions last year, so we're expecting a lot of really good things out of him this year. Hopefully he'll come up with that, and a lot of the other guys, he can kind of elevate their game too.
Not to be slighted, on opposite hand is Darius Morrow, who's also a great player for this program. Talk about him as well, and probably the similarities in both of them.
Yeah, they're similar because they came here at the same time. Both played junior college ball, came in last year. Both of them are good players. They are really good leaders. They do a good job of kind of bringing the other guys along and making sure they're doing the things that they need to. He had a good spring also, learned the system and the scheme really well, smart guys. And like I said, they've kind of taken over the secondary as their own and sort of kind of, put ownership on it to where that the rest of the players will fall in line behind those guys.
All right, we lose B.J. Scottish safety. We're going to have Harris and Watson back there. Talk about them.
Charles Harris, he's had a good summer, had a really good spring, was injured for a day or two in there, kind of put him a little bit behind. Expect a lot of good things out of him because he's a big, tall safety that has range, good tackler. So he should have a good season as well. Charles Watson is another guy that is a really good player. And again, he had a really good spring, picked up on the scheme. These guys as a whole did a good job picking up on the scheme. Expect a lot of good things out of him, and he's a guy that can play multiple positions for us. So when we change personnel on defense, he'll have multiple roles that he'll play for us.
Both Moore and Watson were signed out of junior college before coming to South Alabama. Both of them agree that it's a complete 180 from this time last year to this year.
I mean, it was a big transition for me coming from junior college to coming to the Division I program. In the mix of it all, with it, building and growing, it was a big transition for me, especially just being able to come to practice with the organization skills. As far as junior college, it wasn't as organized. In junior college, it was, hey, come at 2 o'clock. It wasn't no meetings. It was come lift weights at this time. Just had to check in and do what you wanted to do versus, having a strength training coach that was, we had his P's and Q's. It was just on us 24/7. But it was a major transition. I mean, I was well tested coming in because I came in the springtime, so I had to learn fast. But I liked it. I'm glad I came early.
Oh, it's way easier. Last year was really getting your feet wet, and now you made the transition and you develop chemistry between the guys. It's here now, and we just got a tight bond now.
Next, Coach Sherrod talks about what he expects out of his defense this upcoming season.
Basically, in the first year, we obviously want to increase our wins, and there's a lot of things we can do with that with the new guys we have coming in. But scheme-wise, there'll be a lot of similarities to what has been done in the past, but then there'll be a lot of things that'll be really different, a lot more coverages and pressures and things like that. I'm excited. We've got some really good players. I think we're going to go into the Sun Belt this year, and we'll have a lot better ability to win some games just because the depth is starting to kind of increase and get to where we need it to be.
Personal goals this year?
Personal goals this year is to win games with my team. That's my personal goal. My personal goal is to win games with my team, go to win a conference championship, and go to a bowl game and win. That's all I want.
Overall goals, win the championship. That's the main goal. Preferably win more games than we did last year. Shouldn't be too hard.
Coach Scherer wants to have a defense that can rely on a lot of second-team players as well, not only the first team. He now talks about some players for the second team to look out for.
Right now we've got a lot of young guys that are coming in, some guys from junior college, Steven and Stephon Williams, Fuller. They'll come in that we expect those guys to contribute early. Linebacker-wise, we've got, Enrique Williams and Cliff Cruz, who are guys that are kind of senior guys. Behind those, we've got Cordivido Grice. We've got Desmond Lavelle, who is back here now, is a really, really good player. Up front, Alex Page, who was, a Lombardi candidate this year as well. Ramel Jones, a senior also. Behind those guys, we've got Randy Carnathan's coming off an injury last year, who was a senior. He's not really a backup, but he didn't go through spring. We've got Anthony Harris and Montel Garner. Montel just got here in December. Anthony was injured last year. Those guys, we're expecting a lot of playing time out of them as well. A few of the new guys that have just gotten here, it'll take time to tell what they can and can't do once we get through fall camp.